Yes, Shubhaji.
Yeah. On the topic of that prarabdha karma, sanchita karma.
Yeah. So which talk are you referring to?
That one I have not recorded yet in the notes.
Okay, all right. Yeah, but go ahead, Shubhaji.
So it's what we go through every day. So I just had that question. Uh, they say that prarabdha karma can be destroyed only when you enjoy or suffer, right? So whoever comes in your life, it is all part of your karma, right? So when I say in every person who comes in my life is part of my karma, for example, I have a person in life who is nothing but negative.
Mm.
It may be your friend, relative, whoever it is. So can I avoid that person, or I have to go through the suffering to destroy my karma?
I had question along the similar lines. Mine was, I'll just add to that. It was little bit more general in the sense, the situations that I face. Though I say that I am the Brahman, and everything else is also Brahman, but because of the state of the mind, the situations do trigger different responses. And is it for a purpose? Is it for that one I cannot avoid a situation because I need to uh, the path to moksha is to learn how, or like to be able to face that situation, because I think it goes along the lines of sannyasa is like not sitting in a secluded cave, but being able to uh, practice in an environment like this. That is when the jnana is complete. So I had, yeah, along the same lines.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to relate it to the yesterday's Bhagavad Gita shloka which says Jita Sangha Dosha. Avoid uh, uh, those associations which are negative.
Okay. All right.
Right. So
Yeah.
I had this
So do we
question
need to
yesterday.
avoid or do we need to face?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So the question is, so there is prarabdha, and due to prarabdha, various situations come into our life, and some of them may be negative people. So how to handle that? Is it that I should accept and face it, or is it that I have to avoid it?
I just want to add one more.
Yeah.
Even that negative people, maybe I feel like sometimes I question myself saying, is it my labeling that I am seeing it from my view in that way? Maybe not. Right. So it's possible that not necessarily negative, or the unknown type which evokes a negative response. I'll put that also.
Sure. Does Padmaji have anything to add to that as a question or as a response to begin with?
Yeah, so I don't have a question in this. I think I battled with this for a longest time. But one thing is like what Saravanan-ji lastly said, it is our labeling first of all, what is good, what is bad, all this I feel. I have come to this clarity because initially it was not easy to even say that it is me who is labeling, or what I am labeling as bad is also not correct. That is what was very difficult to accept, because again some way it is connected to your ego as well, that how can my conditioning be wrong, that kind of thing also comes in. So what I feel is, uh, yesterday's shloka did talk about all this negativity and how we should not be in association with them. Having said that, what I feel is, uh, now that I have started reading many things recently, I was reading something about where they talk about compassion towards whomever you think is negative or bad. So that was even more difficult to even see it, because the actions of whoever we term as negative or bad is uh, not very positive towards us or towards somebody that we see. So it is not easy to understand even that how can you have compassion towards such people also. Either you want to avoid them or you want to, I don't know, react to them. That is the only way I used to see it. But then I saw that as I read that talk, it was more talking about how there is a lack of uh, skill within them. If we put it as a skill, how there is a lack of skill in that person, because of which they are acting in whatever way they are acting currently, which we are labeling as bad or negative. So it was saying that such people need your understanding and compassion for them to change. So there was two ways to see that. Either thing is, one is the same quality might be within you which you are not seeing, so it is coming in front of you to show you that look within you, do you still have this kind of thing? That is one thing. Second thing was, if it is something not, you are not able to recognize such a thing within you, then it is again they need to correct that through you. So maybe that's why it has come to you, but then you need to show compassion and understanding towards that. Having said that, I again read something about forgiveness, where it is not essential that you have to be in contact with that person whom you are forgiving. So for me also, I had a little bit of confusion, as if like I have forgiven few people, and actually speaking, I am not in contact with them anymore. So my emotions towards those people have changed, but I don't know how again I will feel when, if there is a contact with those people who I say that I have forgiven. I will actually come to know only when you start again and reacting, right? Actings, or they come in contact with you, you will actually know if that emotion, same emotions are welling up inside you, or at least there is a shift in that. So, but I think I will differently react, because uh, initially, like even if I hear something about those people, it will stir some emotions within me, because all the recollection will happen from memory, like, oh, this is what happened with me, see, they haven't changed, something like that. But now, even if I hear, there is not much difference in me. I'm not getting riled up or anything, no emotions are welling up. So I think that is a positive for me. That is how I see it. So I think mostly the physical problem that I have suffered, I have always thought that it is my prarabdha karma which has come to me. So that has changed a lot of things in me for good only, I can say. Although during that process I suffered physically, emotionally, whatever, but I think it has done only good. So uh, I think, except for me, I feel that accepting and enduring or acting upon it is the best way to deal with it. Otherwise, I think it keeps coming back, is how my life experience has been. Like it keeps coming back. Till I forgave this set of people, the same kind of patterns was following between them and me for a long time. I think more than even like 10 years span of time. It will come again and again. Only the situation will change, but the kind of conversations, the kind of emotions, that will always be same. But after I forgive within me them, I haven't even told them that I forgive you, but just within me I have done that. So that has kind of changed everything overnight. The relationship itself changed, they just moved out of my life. I don't know how, I didn't do anything to make them do that, but it just happened automatically. So I truly believe that is some part of karma, that they came, and maybe that forgiveness was necessary, or for myself to let go of that thing. And maybe when I let go of that, I even let go of those people who were creating that. Or maybe that is what needed to change in me, so they came to me. I don't know. So once that happened, automatically they got removed or whatever. They went their own way.
So just want to add one point to that, like when you said we like hope like they will change or they will evolve. Um, maybe looks like when I'm going through all this, it kind of gives me clarity. It seems to be, but I'm a little bit confused because at times I think that like, is there anyone apart from me? Is there anyone outside me?
No,
Even
that is true. That is why I said that sometimes it feels like those are things that need to be worked upon within you.
yeah,
Okay. If I say for example, if I say you are very greedy, okay, maybe I also have that in me. That is why I am able to connect to that aspect in you. Okay, that was also one part of my understanding. If I say you are divine, then the same thing is happening. It doesn't matter what word I am using towards you, but if I see divinity in you, the divinity within me is connecting with that emotion in you. I can sense that, I can feel that. Maybe because everything is just energy, you connect to that, and if you are in that frequency, I mean, the law of attraction and all, they say all this, that what you are is what you will attract and things like that. I truly believe to that in a large extent, because even when I was sick, I noticed that everyone around me was always positive. There was not even one person whom I can remember would say something negative, like, you won't recover, or, this is, oh my God, what happened to you? What did you do that this happened to you? No one said that. Every person I came in contact with always said that, even though you have this, you are positive. How did you do this? But actually, I didn't do this. I think the people around me were like that, who did not let me go into that. They were constantly somebody who elevated me, who helped me lift myself up to come out of that. So I don't know, maybe from very young, this is something my mother has always told. She will say even now, like, no matter what, you can rise out of it. You have to keep telling yourself that. So somewhere maybe that got ingrained very deeply, because of which probably even in that sickness, physically, although I was down, maybe my frequency resonated something like that, that I'm going to come out of it. It is all positive, that kind of thing. Maybe that also resonated outside, because of which I attracted people like that, who did not put me down, who always elevated me, who always said positive things to me, is what I feel. So although the recovery took a long time physically, I think mentally I was healing more faster than physical, is what I feel. So I think that is when I started realizing, like, why is it coming to you now? Why? That is when actually I started looking into what else can life give me. Because at such a young age, when you are I mean, you are all happy, 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 and suddenly it's like a big bomb. You start to think, like, was all this not at all important? What is more important in life? Because suddenly overnight things changed. It all looked like it's going to be a dead end, but then again after that you have come this far. So there is something beyond you, you yourself, and what you think is the god or divine. Something beyond that came to help you and, save you, take you further. So that is the point I truly started like experiencing the higher power, that kind of thing. Till that time, of course, because of conditioning, you believe in God, you do certain things because your elders have done it that way, or they have told that's the right way. But I think that was my true turning point, when I started having complete faith and trust that beyond all this physical thing, there is something higher which will always protect you and guide you where you have to go, things like that. So I feel that although yeah, I have always tried to understand what is the difference between all this, I feel that that difference doesn't help in tackling that, is what I feel.
See, some of your comments are more to do in the what they call self improvement or staying positive. Uh, that is which we read a lot outside, right? But I want to look at it from Vedanta perspective, like what is it going on, and like why is
No,
that
but even
marriage?
even from Vedanta perspective, Saravananji, it is all only positive, right? Vedanta is not at all talking about anything negativity. Everything is only positive there. So I don't think self-improvement is very different from Vedanta. Maybe it starts like that. Even in Vedanta, maybe if we were somebody culturally who are exploring Vedanta from very early on, from very early childhood, like they used to do in the past with the rishis and the disciple way, it will start like that only, right? You will only be chanting, you will only, in that it is all about positivity, how you uh, you know put yourself in the world, what skills you have. That is what they would do in the ashramas along with this. Other than then, as you grow, you start to like, it goes deeper within you to understand what you truly are. So what I'm trying to tell you is, till that point in time, I have never studied any scripture or anything as such, whether it was English or whether it was Vedanta related. I have not gone through any scriptures because neither of my parents have. But they have always chanted big, big shlokas, Vishnu Sahasranama, all this. You don't even, I still don't know the meanings of all the namas or anything. The sound and the chant just resonates with me. That itself is a positive vibe. If I chant it, it brings something out within you. Maybe you are not even able to put it in words, what happens to you when you chant that. But there is something good which happens, and that helped me because this was the time when I would chant, just chant, to not go into that, that feeling of why am I sick? I'm not suddenly able to do many things I was able to do 2 days before. What is going to happen to my child who is just 3 years old? He's left with somebody. All these questions used to come. And to get out of that, I felt that there was only one thing that helped me, and that was chanting. So I would just chant the namas without even knowing the meaning or trying to understand it. It gave something within me
Yeah,
which helped,
I
that
think
kind.
it just tries to move the mind towards a different object. Otherwise, what happens? Some
Yeah,
at times I have seen that I
it's
move with
like a
like,
loop.
yeah,
It's
I move
like,
with like, let's say 100 people. There can be one person who might have done something in a way that is not to my expectations, and my mind gets stuck to that one. And then
yeah,
at one point, I will think that, like, of all, why is that my mind getting
yeah.
attracted or stuck with this one negative thing? While
Hmm.
there are so many other good things also happening, but looks like I don't know. I don't know why that happens. And that's where this namas japa, right? I also try to see. I start chanting to see, like, if I can distract or tie the mind to something else. Otherwise, like, if it gets into it during the sleep, that's it. That night is gone.
Yeah. No, no, I understand. So I feel that lot of things in the mind is more towards negativity
Why?
than, I
That's the
feel that
ego,
we
I guess.
focus on that. Yeah, we focus on that
Okay,
because,
shall we bring the focus back to, first of all, there are two important questions that are coming up. One is what Shubhaji brought up, which
prarabdha.
is everything prarabdha? And if it is so, how do I deal with it? That's a simple question first. Next question that we are dealing with now is Vedanta some kind of a like self-improvement, a positive science? So let's look at these two as separate questions. See, when Shubhaji, when you say, there are some situations in life. Now the first question is there any place in the world where you are away from situations? Nowhere. Whether you go to a mountain, whether you go to a hilltop, whether you go to a cave, you have to deal with some or the other situation. the classical story of the sannyasi who went to do the tapas on top of Himalayas. And, he had to deal with his langoti at least. And, from the langoti started his whole family again.
Oh, and cat
So, yeah, so wherever you go, you have some or the other situations to deal with. The situation may be maybe in the top of the Himalaya, there is no food at all. And without food, you cannot even survive and cannot even continue whatever that you went there to do. So therefore, the first and foremost question is, situations are there. So how do I deal with it? How do I deal with any situation of life? So to deal with any situation of life, for example, right now somebody comes and says, Mihir comes and says, Amma, I want idli. Today I have the mood to eat idli. You, as a wonderful mother, you will look at, do I know how to make idli? How do I get it? I haven't made batter. Let me go get the batter from the store and let me prepare something for him. Or maybe I will find out if my neighbor has the batter. So you will look into various options to fulfill whatever he has requested. How did all these options come into your mind? How did you even get all these options in your mind? Only because you've dealt with them, only because you have learned how to prepare idli. You've learned how to prepare idli, you learned how to make idli in 100 different ways. So the very ability of you having done it before has now given you the confidence to deal with it. Okay, I haven't made idli today, but I can go and get it from store, or I can ask the neighbor, or I can request Meher, can you wait till tomorrow because it requires 24 hours to prepare the batter. So like that, you'll go through in your mind multiple options. So the options were not there day one. Now just rewind all the way back. Say, just giving an example. Say when you are 5-year-old and somebody walked up to you and said, Shubha, can you make idli? You will look at them and laugh and say, no, I don't know. So one is the knowledge about something always helps you to look at what can be done in any situation. I took the example of idli. Now go back to the same idli situation and you are 5-year-old and somebody came to you and said, can you make idli? And you simply laughed at it and said, I don't know. And maybe you would have said, can you teach me? So there was no other, why are they asking me to make idli? Don't they know I'm a small child? Don't they know I don't know anything? Who are they to ask me all this? How rude they are. None of those thoughts for a 4-year-old, 5-year-old would occur. Simply the 4 or 5-year-old would say, I don't know. And what I need to do. It's a very simple recognition of, do I have the knowledge? If somebody comes and asks you, Shubhaji, there is somebody who is having a tough time breathing. I don't know what is happening. Can you please come and help? Now, if you have been a trained doctor, you may recognize what the condition is. Otherwise, what's the best course of action? To call somebody who knows about something about medicine, or to call ambulance services. That's the best course of action. So any situation, the course of action is dependent on the knowledge I have about the given situation. Once when I have knowledge, I can figure out multiple options. And if still it is not enough, I have to say, I don't know. When I say I don't know, honestly, then I can look at, all right, I don't know, but how do I move? How do I move when I don't know something? Is to look around and to see, is this particular learning important for me that I need to move, learn and move, or ask somebody else to come and solve? So that depends upon the nature of the situation. I just took the idli as an example. You may decide, I never want to learn idli. I'll always buy idli batter from the store. Perfectly fine. That's the most practical solution that you have arrived at, and you are comfortable with that answer. At the end of the day, there is only one person who has to be comfortable with the answers they are getting. That is you. Because the battles of life are within you. The questions of life are within you. How to handle, how not to handle, whether to face or to run away are within you. So the only person who has to ultimately answer is you. And whatever the answer, I can give you for making idli 10 different options, but none of them may appeal to you. At the end of the day, you may find out a 11th one, which you say, this is it, this is the right answer. For Padmaji, Japa has helped her to focus her mind somewhere else. But is that the same answer for you? Maybe, maybe not. Your answer may be just simply taking a walk. So all of this is, how do I handle the situation? All right. This is like, there is cold and I'm shivering. What do? I wear some nice cloth, cloth that protects me from the cold, woolen cloth. Now, have I become free of the cold? No, I have learned how to only protect. So all these different ideas are protection mechanisms. They only teach you how to protect. Oh, if I sit silently, I become peaceful. Okay, which means you have to go and sit silently. If I take a walk, I become peaceful. Okay, that is a protection mechanism. If I chant, I become peaceful. Okay, that is a protection mechanism. Now, you can be in the domain of the protection mechanism because the world is full of such protection mechanism. Right from your parents to your teachers to your relatives to your friends to self-improvement people, everybody teaches you protection mechanism. You go to anybody and you say, I have a problem, come, I have solution for you. Okay, everybody gives you a one or the other solution. Vedanta is not giving you solution at all. Vedanta is not giving you self-improvement at all. Vedanta is not teaching you whether to face or to run away. Vedanta simply looks at life as is. Vedanta says, you are eternal. You have no problems in life. Vedanta tells you, you are getting disturbed. It is only telling you the mechanism of disturbance. It is saying you're getting disturbed because you're paying attention to the objects that are coming in your mind, and you have a memory, and through your thinking, you're passing some kind of a judgment about the object. It is simply telling you, like an engineer explaining the mechanism. When you look at a clock, a child may come and ask, how does it work? If you are an engineer, you will simply ask the child, come here, I'll open this. Look, open this. See here, when you turn this, it is winding this spring here, and you see the spring? Yeah, I see the spring, correct. And now see that spring, when it is wound, what happens? The child may think, it will start becoming loose. See, when it starts becoming loose, see here this lever, it's connected to that. and see what it is striking. And see what the gear, see it's moving. Correct. And see what is it connected to. Oh, that is how the minute hand works. Oh, nice. It is neither positive nor negative. This is the mechanism. You're simply talking about the mechanism. So the mechanism of the mind is that impressions are stored, sensations come, and depending upon the impression, you have a certain judgment about the sensation that is coming. You look at an object and you say, oh, my son is coming towards me. Oh, it's a smile in his face. Lovely, my son looks so good, no? Ababa. Yeah, drishti agbardangi. Ayya. Why? It's an object that at the end of the day, it's a sensation, but there's an impression. My son, ayyo. Okay. So another situation, somebody with you, you have fought. Now the same sensation is coming. Same sensation, another person. The sensation is the same. What is the sensation? What you receive through your eyes, what you receive through your ears, what you receive through your five senses. That's all the sensation is. And the sensations, the sense organs have no judgment at all. They simply report. They're simply reporting mechanisms. They don't say, oh, this sensation is bad for Shubha, I will not report. They simply report everything. What you see, what you hear, everything simply they report. When they report, you have a memory, chitta, from where you pick and you see the sensation in the light of that memory and you pass a judgment. Who is passing a judgment? Your viveka, your buddhi is passing a judgment. This fellow that day insulted me. Now let me not even look at him. How did he do that? So there is now the body is told, I don't like it. Who tells the body? The mind. So when the body is told, body is simply a very, very obedient friend. The body is the most innocent child. Body has no association. The owner mind tells, bad, I don't want. Then, yeah, Sharonji.
I want to make a short comment here. I feel when the mind is disturbed, I feel it disturbs the body functioning as well. In like example is like, you know what, your pressure may change, or like the way you internally, I feel like changes do happen. So because the mind being the driver of the body in some ways, like when it is receiving not, but then when it is responding, when it processes, I feel like it disturbs the body as well.
Yeah, so the mind, when it gives the suggestion, I don't like it. What is I don't like it? I don't like it. At the end of the day, any thought in your mind, how does it come to different parts of the body? For example, anger. The feeling of the anger, the thoughts about the anger are here in the mind. And I keep just painting, pointing here. I don't know where the mind is. That is just an instinctive way of pointing at. Nobody says mind. Generally the hand goes here, mind, because the majority of the processing is happening here, yeah, in the brain, maybe in that sense. But anyway, coming back to the point, mind decides, I don't like it, I'm angry. Then, your shoulders become stiff, your ears become hot, your eyes start burning, mouth starts drying. How did all that change happen? The body doesn't have that negative reaction. The body is simply a obedient friend, a wonderful friend, a very innocent friend. The mind has given the instruction, angry. Now, different chemicals from the mind through the brain and the other mechanisms in the body, different chemicals stream in, and those chemicals make those change. Fundamentally, your thought is relayed to different parts of the body through electrochemical mechanism. Electrical signals come, various chemical changes happen, and it happens. For example, if there is a automatic door opener, you press a button. Initially, it's an electrical signal that in turn has to push some mechanism through some kind of either a pneumatic or a hydraulic mechanism, and that opens the door. You know, you've gone to all these stores, no? As you're walking, the door opens. So there is a sensor. There is a sensor, and that sensor knows that something is obstructing. And as soon as something is obstructing happens, it sends a signal to a relay, and that relay in turn opens a small electrical motor which rotates, and the door opens. That is a mechanism. That sensor has no judgment. The sensor simply operates. Your body has no judgment. Body simply operates. So the judgment is happening in the mind. How? Depending upon the chitta, depending upon the sensation. And this is where the next crucial thing comes into picture. Sensations came, impressions are there, but there is something very important, which is my child, ayyo kana, my enemy, my anger, the one who caused anger in me and mine. So when the chitta shows all the impressions, this happened, this happened, this happened, this happened yesterday, all of this is happening in a fraction of a second. That is the mechanism. That's why the whole beauty is lost. But all of this, whatever, the last 5 minutes I'm explaining, it happens. But anyway, coming back. So all of these impressions bubble up, and the sensation is there. And this fellow called I, this fellow I comes into the picture and says, yeah, he insulted me. Now you also look at what to do. Now he insulted me. Okay, that's still okay. You also insult back. Is that the only option in the given moment? Like the idli option, there can be 100 other different options. Now, which option you choose depends upon your own knowledge. And therefore, now comes the Vedantic knowledge. Vedanta shows you, you are not the mechanism. Your problem or your suffering in life is because you are deeply invested in the mechanism. You think you are the mechanism. You think all that change that is happening, the gear is rotating, the spring is wound up, the lever is moved, striking, the hands are moving, all of that are nothing but various parts of the mechanism, and they are constantly changing. And your very cause of the very root of the suffering in life is because you're connected with the mechanism. You're deeply invested in the mechanism. If something happens to mechanism, you are of the assumption that it is happening to you. If my watch falls and the glass breaks, ayyo, I am broken. Nobody cries like that. I and the watch are different. I simply have to take the watch and go to a repair shop and see how to repair, how to get a new glass, or how to put a band-aid to the existing glass, if it is important for me. So Vedanta is not giving you self-improvement. Vedanta is not asking you to look at life. Look at That is positive. Look, this is negative. Vedanta is not teaching you positive, negative mechanism. That's all the self-improvement. Believe you can do it and you will do it. All that is a matter of self-improvement gimmicks. Believe you can be now part of Indian cricket team. Show me. So it is not in that realm. So it is in the realm of recognizing the truth as is. When you recognize the truth as is, then you become free from the clutches of the mechanism that is operating this entire mechanism. So only through recognition of the truth and recognition of the mechanism, which is the mithya. Mithya is everything that is changing. That can you be free. And in that freedom, now you see what is the choice to make. In that freedom, okay, now the watch has fallen, glass is broken. What should I do now? You have all the choices in the world. Now the watch fell and the glass broke. Why it happened to me only? The more you keep on investigating that question, the only answer Vedanta gives you is, look, it's all because of your prarabdha. Now you can keep investigating that question. Oh, at what life I did what? And why is it happening to me only? Look, my neighbor, their watch did not fall. Their glass did not break. Why only mine? So you can spend till cows come home to investigate this question. But does that give you the freedom? So therefore, Vedanta shows you path of freedom. And it is not giving you solace at all. It is not at all telling you world is going to be nice, that you will not suffer at all. Rather, let me correct the statement. It is showing you that by which you can become free from suffering. However, it is not telling you that the various situations will go away. Suddenly, Jivan Mukta means that, oh, happy ending. And they lived happily ever after. Situations will still be there. In fact, even more graver situations, even more challenging situations. Situations which you wouldn't even have thought of. Situations which you were not even thought, I'm connected to. So that is where a true sannyasi, who is a sannyasi? Samyak nyasaha iti sannyasaha. The one who has deposited the mind in the right direction is a sannyasi. To Shankaracharya, when he was doing that Padayatra, there were people who were plotting to kill him. Shankaracharya had to look at how do I handle that. Of course, he was not at all afraid of death or living. So naturally, existence, the dharma of the existence is, when a little child, you might have seen, when a little child lifts a baby cat or a baby dog, the mother knows that the little child is there to support me. Just 2 or 3 days before, I shared one video of Anvi. She trying to rescue that puppy. You also, said what a wonderful act. So that Anvi, she goes to that mother dog, which has just given birth to the puppies, and she cuddles the puppies. When a mother dog, when somebody goes even as much as, some 10 meters closer to the babies, it is already growling and wanting to attack. But she simply walks, simply plays with the puppies and comes. And the mother is simply there. What gave the feeling to the mother of assurance? Because the existence in the mother, that baby, that dog, through that, the feeling that is there is, it's all safe. So that is the freedom of a jnani. Because in his mind now, there are no positive, negative reactions. He's become free from that. His mind operates, still mind operates. But now he's like that little child. He has no intentions, either positive or negative intentions. No aspirations of this is what should happen. This is what should not happen. He's simply there as part of the, when you look at it from outside, he's simply there as part of the mechanism. He's also doing something in the mechanism, but he's simply there. But he is ever free. So Vedanta is not giving a Amritanjan at all. Headache, take Amritanjan, apply. Vedanta is showing you, look, how many ever times you apply Amritanjan, you will still have headache. You've not gotten rid of headache. Here is one way where I can go to the very root of the problem and show you what is the root of the problem. Now it is for you whether to accept that and to root it out. Is this bringing clarity?
Yes, sir. The person in question is a friend who I tried to tell her to be positive, but the question is, anything I tell her to put her in the positive side, she keeps saying, "You don't know the problem. You don't know the problem. You are not going through it." Just because I don't say what I am going through doesn't mean that I am not going through the problem. That person doesn't understand. She keeps saying, "I have this problem. I have that problem." Only problems is the conversation. So when I try to tell her, no, everybody has the problem. It's the way you think about it. So it doesn't go inside her. So my family feels that I'm spending too much time in consoling her, putting her in the right track, all that. So that is why this question came. Should I avoid or should I continue to help her?
So you tell me one thing. Your child comes to you crying. You solace. That's a natural dharma. You have no two minds about it. Now you see another child crying. You just go and see whether you can solace.
Yes.
But the child says, "No, you go away." Or if the child says, "No, I don't want to listen to you." So now you can try saying it in one or two ways.
Yeah.
But if the child is not willing to listen to you,
Exactly.
what do you do?
Yes.
Yeah. So therefore, at the end of the day, when we are helping another being in our day-to-day operations,
Yeah.
what happens is there is the other person is still looking at you as another mind and body.
Mm.
Your deeper feeling may be, I just want to help. I expect nothing.
Yeah.
But the other person still looks at you as Shubha and the one who I played with, or whatever the friend, so on and so forth. So many stories are there. What does she know? For example, if I come and say, this is a very crude and a very disastrous example, okay? So let's say somebody whose leg is cut. I come and say, "It's okay, don't worry. Look at this. There are 100 ways to live without leg also." I have the best intention for that person. I have the best feeling that for that person. Why are you suffering? Don't worry. Please come up. There are 100 ways to live. is the feeling. But how the person can interpret, the person can interpret it as, what does he know about my life? It is me whose leg is cut. Look at you, you have both the legs. That's why you're talking like this. So in such situations, the mind resists, meaning what? The ego position me resists any new idea coming. That is why Sri Krishna did not start Bhagavad Gita in chapter 1. He started Bhagavad Gita after shloka number 2.7. In Arjuna Uvacha, Karpanya doshopahata svabhavaha pruchhami tvam dharma sammudha chetaha yachreyasyan nishchitam bruhi tanme shishyasteham shadhimam tvam prapannam. In his mind, he is willing to now give up his ego position and saying, Krishna, I dealt with life the way I dealt with, and now I am at this juncture where I don't know how to deal with this. And I see you peaceful, calm, happy all the time. But your situations in life are so much more graver. There must be something that is helping you. Shishyaste aham shadhimam tvam prapannam. I'm surrendering to you. What does it mean? I'm willing to give up my ego position. For the time being, I'm willing to keep aside, I'm Arjuna, I'm Gandivi, I'm such a great archer. I know so many things, I've won so many wars, I've done all that. Oh, I'm so great. I know. I have also gone to Guru. I'm willing to keep all that aside. But what is that I need to learn in this moment? Please teach me. Until that comes, Atma Jnana, which can remove the root of suffering, cannot be given. Until then, as a best friend, one can simply listen. And if there is a genuine question coming, see how to nudge. However, for anybody to truly learn Atma Jnana, which can liberate them from all this suffering, it has to be learned in the right environment. Because first of all, their mind has to be brought to realizing that I have not found the answer. And your ego doesn't allow you. It challenges. Hey Shubha, what do you know about my situation? No, it will not work. I have done all this. It will not accept. So when the ego is up and functioning, the teaching which can remove that suffering cannot be given. So therefore, you need to observe and see what is the right step to take. What is the right step to take? I don't know. It is very contextual. So even in a classroom setting, when people listen to the Atma Jnana and the method of teaching, they can resist. I have told you one situation where in Vinay Guruji's class, he narrated that little story, Shubhaji, once in one of the class, there was a lady. Yeah. So see, it's a classroom setting and it's a teaching methodology where he did certain things in order to bring out certain truth. But that lady took it as he's insulting me. And next day with his husband and son, she was there yelling and screaming at him in the most abusive language. So there is human mind, which is the most magnificent entity, which can throw things at you that you would have never thought is possible. So, therefore, teaching cannot happen. Advices are never taken. Because my ego versus your ego. So simply to listen and to keep wishing, if the person has a genuine question like Arjuna, then at that moment, whatever the most genuine possible answer that occurs to you could help.
Thank you, sir. That's what I do. I just listen.
Fair enough. You care for her, so that's why you listen.
So yeah, so here it's little bit. Maybe I'll put it as a second degree, where a first degree is uh, it's not someone outside, right? It's like I don't know why I still even after this 2 or 3 years of jnana, it's looks like, but with genuine intent, there is always the expectation that we are doing this for a good cause, or like for everyone to be.
So I'll interrupt and say one thing. Intent, I am the one who has an intent. So therefore, when I am the Kartru, naturally the Bhokta is there.
Yes.
So the very idea of an intent is to who the intent is. Who has identified with the intent.
Yeah. Yeah, see, the thing is, yeah, I don't know. I am still because when I'm involved in a karma, there is always this, the intent comes into picture where like, okay, I should do it, right?
But to who the intent comes?
Yeah, the ego only.
So therefore, you will never solve that problem. Because ego will continue to raise. In any situation, ego is there. Because you interact with the situation through the mechanism of ego. So therefore, the simplest approach Vedanta teaches us is, you are not the ego. Ego appears and disappears. As long as you get connected with the ego, then there is a kartrutva, and naturally then the bhoktatva follows.
With the destruction of ego, even all those my links get cut. Right? There is no more mine. It's just everyone is same.
Okay, let's even without going into that part, simply look at it from your own standpoint. In order to lift this phone, I have to use my hand. I cannot use my hand to speak what I'm speaking. So I simply use my hand to lift the phone. I simply use my mouth to make the sound. So I know how to use each of these distinctly and differently. I lifted, I kept it back. Job done, gone, finished. Whatever is the right thing to say has to be said, is being said, job done, finished. So, you know how well I took it. When will that come? When I am the one who is taking, I am the one who is leaving, I am the one who is speaking, I am the one who is having all these ideas. When that I, who is independent of something else, is there. And that independent of something else is this ego. So therefore, Ramana Maharshi again and again points us back to, whenever a mechanism or a situation is being talked about, he simply asks you, good, But to who is this coming? Who is this? Who are you? Go back to that question. Because the one who has a question is a imaginary entity. Is not a existential entity. Meaning what? Is not a permanent reality. Is an appearing and disappearing reality. Is something that comes and goes. Your own, what you call as your own ego, if I ask you, define ego. What is exactly ego? Show me that ego. It is a masquerading picture. It's continuously morphing picture. It's continuously changing picture. It's a shadow. So you'll never be able to catch the shadow. You'll never be able to hold the shadow in your hand and say, look, this is ego. Ego is the shadow.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that's where I felt I was just trying to use this talk that every moment is a mystery, and I can't. I just have to be curious to see what happens next and just see it and say that it's mithya. It's not real.
Situation is unreal. Every sensation is unreal. Again, when we use the word unreal, I have to be detached. No, it doesn't mean in that way. Deep down, I'm detached. Meaning, I have no expectations of this is how the situation should be. I have no expectations of this is what it has to become. I always can put a new direction into the situation, and it may turn out to be in the direction that I favored. It may turn out to be in the direction that I did not favor. One simple example. For Krishna Janmashtami, Prabhuji wanted to offer Bhagavad Gita books to all the teachers, all the editors who have participated in the Bhagavad Gita book editing. So he asked me to order that book. I delayed by about 2 days. And when I ordered, the book said, the online said, it was going to be delivered on the day of the Krishna Janmashtami. So I felt, okay, at least, on the day of Janmashtami, and we will be able to distribute. And Prabhuji also said, it's okay. If it comes, it comes. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And it so happened that it came the next day. So the intention, if you think in that direction, intention was made appear on the day of Krishna Janmashtami, before Krishna Janmashtami, so that it can be offered. But it did not happen. What to do? So there is something to be learned. I wish I had acted at least 1 day before. But now that it has happened, it has happened. Now there is no way to correct it.
Yeah.
Now it's only in the next moment, how can I learn from it? But does it mean that I will always have all the answers figured out? No. I have to be constantly be aware and perform the current action with the best possible feeling of may it be of value to all involved. Will it bring the best? As you see in the short term, it may not. In the long term, will it? Maybe. I don't know. But do I even care? No. Why?
Yeah.
In this moment, there is no association to the action.
So it's like the way I'm seeing it, right? It's like I have sat to watch the movie, and there is a scene that comes that makes me laugh. Okay, I have laughed it. I have enjoyed it. Okay, though it is mithya. And then following, there is a scene that just makes me cry, and I am going through it, and until the next scene comes. Okay, but then like sometimes I go back to that again, right? But the thing is, once I have decided to sit through it, now I have to go through this.
I've taken the ticket to come to the movie. I cannot say, okay, I will only watch the comedy scene and not the sad scene. See, you only have written Dukkeshu
Writing is easy.
Manaha, Sukeshu Vigata Spruhaha, Vita Raga Bhayakrodaha, Sthita Dhir Muniruchyate.
It is just the time when you go through it, right? That is the moment of truth. Okay.
Correct. So now somebody that day, when again, I'm just using that as an example to paint the picture. When that lady, husband, and children were abusing at the worst possible language, what I saw was here was this Guruji who was just standing there, as if when we sit with eyes closed for meditation, with the same expression. So the whole idea of evolution, if there is a spiritual evolution, is in that moment, in that situation, how can I still be still? And that stillness occurs because you have got connected with your inner stillness. Because you have realized you are that unchanging. You are that unmodifiable. You are that who is not going to be going up or down with whatever the modifications that are coming, which are being seen on the screen called mind. So the very idea that I am unmodifiable gives you that sense of freedom. Now, when I use the word idea, not again as a mental construct, with that idea, realizing that, oh, I am that I am.
Yeah, it requires really brainwash, like multiple multiple rounds of brainwash.
Correct. So that's why tapas is usually, in our Puranas, you say, he did a Ghora tapas for 12 years. Ghora tapas for 12 years. There is a reason for that. Our body goes through, they say, modification, complete overhauling, roughly in about 7, 9, 8, 9 years. So see, whatever the knowledge, whatever the jnana that you receive, for it to become part of each and every cell of yours, because you stored impressions in every cell. You may not, for example, you may not recall how cold is right now if I ask you, but the moment a cold occurs, your body cells start shivering. An insult, you may not remember, but the feeling of the insult is remembered in the each cell. In the way it burns, in the way it becomes, the whole body, the way it feels. So memory is in the body, which means the cells are born with that memory. So when a new cell is being born, it is inheriting from the previous memory. So memory is deeply ingrained. So therefore, all this is punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam. Same impressions, same impressions. So therefore, iha samsare bahudussare. So then how do I come out of this cycle? Krupaya pare pahi murare. So again and again, Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasa, and get involved in Sadguru Seva Satsanga. That is the only true balm. I mean, it's not a balm. That's the only true remedy.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm applying the same question of Shubhaji also. Looking at Arjuna, things didn't work out as they wanted throughout. And I guess that's the prarabdha karma they were born with, that they had to go through, and finally they got that jnana to be able to go beyond it. Right, so maybe I'm going through it now, that jnana, and yeah, it's the depth of that reception which will pull me out of this. Yeah.
Because when we read some spiritual texts, or when we hear something, the constant thing that gets attached to our mind is bliss, ananda.
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah.
Now there'll be a day when my body will feel like this. So we have a concept of ananda as a physical pleasure.
Mm.
The physical pleasure that we are used to is what we associate as ananda.
Mm.
Oh, so the one who is Jivan Mukta is bliss. So his body is bliss, pleasure. So the very idea of the pleasure as a body-based pleasure is what we have as a concept of many a times as a concept of liberation. It will not go away. Ramakrishna Paramahamsa had throat or lung cancer. Ramana Maharshi had a tumor. The body has to go through what it has to go through, because the prarabdha is applicable to the body. Because things can be done to another thing. You can take a knife and cut paper, but you cannot take a knife and cut space. So Jivan Mukta has realized that he has become the space. But for the worldly transaction, when the Jivan Mukta body operates, we because of our own body abhasa, we also think that the Jivan Mukta is also a body. So therefore, we see the body suffering. We say, oh, even Jivan Mukta. But the Jivan Mukta's body is going through the prarabdha. It has to go through.
Yeah.
Whatever it has to go through. That's the nature. Sri Krishna is Paramatma. He could have stopped Kurukshetra. He could have stopped him being killed by an arrow. None of it.
So Vijayji, also it's being told, right, that you be a witness to any situation. Yeah, witness is someone like who behaves in a, or like who is not connected to that situation, to that event. There is a true witness, right? And like, are we expected, like if I consider myself, or if I accept myself as Brahman, right, then what the body's sense organs see is a situation, and should if can I take every situation in a
Shubhaji, Padmaji, are you there?
suggestion or advice?
Sorry,
Just-
Ramanji, for a few moments you were lost. Can you please come back?
Okay. So if I consider, if I accept myself as Brahman and try to where a Brahman is a witness.
So, I'll pause you for a moment. Let's go little back, your question started with, if I accept. So you already started with a doubt, and the next question follows.
Doubt is in the sense like it's because that consciousness is, that awareness is not there all the at every moment. So
What awareness is not there?
that is
The memory,
I'm not this body
memory of
mind.
the jnana is not there, is what you are essentially saying. But
Yeah.
memory hasn't gone away anywhere. When you are acting in a situation, are you recalling, like right now we are in the Tattva Bodha Manana session. So we are connected to all the concepts,
Yes.
all the
Yes.
jnana.
Yes.
But when I'm dealing with the fight, this Atma Jnana is not coming back. So that is about memory-based
Yeah.
realization. We are not talking about
Yeah.
that. What Tattva Bodha is essentially showing you, you are that.
Yes.
At no moment you are anything else.
Yeah. Which
So therefore,
let's say I accept.
So therefore, if is again a question by the mental model. So the mental model will always ask all these questions.
But the reason maybe why I put that is like my reaction to every event is not on that basis. Then like there is a
So there is somebody else,
yes.
which is that is why Ramana Maharshi never answers questions about situations. He will say simply ask the question, who am I? In any such situation, who am I? He doesn't even put the accept question. Accept it, then see what happens. He'll simply ask, who am I?
So as Brahman, it's through the power of Maya itself, like which is part of Brahman, like I see this world where this body itself part of that world, and it just keeps going through a drama, and just watch it.
You have to.
That's it.
So the more you develop,
And if this body,
the mind
this
is
body,
the mind has been trained for so long to look outside and act. Even the Sakshi Bhava is a training of the mind only. See, ultimately, you are not suffering.
yeah,
Space has never suffered.
yes, yes, yes.
But when I look at the space and say, look, the space got vanished now. See, it is my hand which is in the space. Space has vanished. I have destroyed the space. Have I? No. So it's an illusion that I've destroyed the space. It's an illusion that, you are ever in trouble. You are ever in suffering.
Yeah,
You
it is
never
that
been.
scene where the movie is having a very bad moment on the screen.
Why is that happening? Because the mind has the ability to receive things and project things. So when you see the projection, you get involved with the projection, and you are saying that I am suffering. It's the projection. That projection is the Maya. So therefore, how do you come out of that? Because the mind has got deeply trained in that projection mechanism. Right from the childhood, it got trained so deeply. So to train it away, the sadhana is be a sakshi, witness, see the clouds come and go, witness.
So that's where I had this question.
Let me just take one more
That
point,
witness
then
one,
you can ask. Yeah, as you are witnessing, then the natural question is, who is witnessing? And the one who is witnessing, how come while witnessing, and if the witness is simply watching. Oh, the one who is witnessing actually needs nothing from the clouds. I'm not witnessing the clouds and praying, give me rain. And I'm not witnessing the clouds and saying, act as a sun screen. I'm simply witnessing. So the one who is witnessing, what does he need from the cloud? Nothing. How is the one who is witnessing there? So to train the mind back, and then the mind has to even drop the so-called witnessing. I am the witnesser. I'm the one who's witnessing. That is also a mental concept. Because the one who's witnessing is even beyond the mind. Meaning what? See, you can see the existence of the world only because of the mind. But you are even beyond the mind. The one who's witnessing is beyond. Imagine the drama stage. The light is the one which shines the objects on the drama stage. But the light itself is beyond the objects. So without the light, the drama stage cannot be lit. You are that light.
So here the witness is to witness. Actually, it's not witnessing outside, it is witnessing the mind, which is projecting the whole thing.
Because always you witness outside only through the mind.
Mind.
You had an illusion that there is something outside of you. Through the Tattva Bodha, you also now seen that you cannot really say that there's something outside of you.
Yeah, that's all.
There is nothing. You cannot say that you neither can I make the claim that there is something outside or there is not something outside. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because the only way I know about something else is because of the screen
Mind.
called mind.
Mind.
In the mind, a movie is being projected.
So
So movie is not me because movie is constantly changing. Then who is the one who's watching the movie? That one is who I am. But do I need that recognition to be who I am? No. It's who I am is who I am. It's unmodifiable. It's only because I had a deep sense of pain and suffering because I got so deeply connected with the movie. So therefore now, again in the same mind, clarity starts emerging. I am not the movie. Movie will continue, but I'm the watcher of the movie.
and this is not from the domain of the mind.
Ah,
Because the moment I say I am the watcher, again, it can be from the point of ego that
for the sake of
Yeah.
teaching, the guru has to say,
mm,
be a witness. Now see, who are you witnessing? Who is the witness? See, who am I? So Ramana can only keep asking us, who are you? He cannot give you the answer.
mm, mm. Yeah, I think Yeah, last time I think I had this question. How can I even feel that? And you said like in a meditation, like when you are able to take the consciousness to like different, let's say, parts of the body, right? They are like that. That can be felt. Um, not sure how when this body mind is involved in some action. Um, how one can go beyond that in a witness mode.
Now also you're involved in the action.
Now, yeah.
Now you are very much involved in the action. You're talking, but you have a deep sense of integrated action now. You have a deep sense of, you, mind, body, all working together. You're not acting as parts by parts. It's holistic. Action is always holistic. We notice parts of action, therefore we become broken. Right now, when you are asking a question or when you are saying something, say Shubhaji is interacting with you, it is the consciousness that is shining through Shubhaji's mind and body. If I notice only the body, or if I notice only her mental patterns, I'm noticing partial picture. It is fundamentally consciousness, the divine light of the self that is shining through Shubhaji. So, to be Sakshi means to see the whole. To see the whole when you are acting. To see the whole dissolves any actor and acting and action differences. Only when there is a I am acting and this is an object of action, then all that Triputi comes. When you see holistically means what? There is no separation because consciousness is what is shining through another body and mind. And the consciousness is with you are interacting. Is it two consciousness? No. So the ground on which this entire play happens is you.
Yeah.
You see that? So the ground on which this entire play is happening is you only. You as not in a body. You as that awareness. And then through different mental models, the picture is split. And judgments are made. Good, bad, right, wrong. And that further leads to picture being split. Otherwise, in all the moments, the picture is whole. So, with that, the action that happens through this mind and body, through another mind and body, is a function of the body and mind. That mind, see, the light shines. Sri Krishna spoke. Duryodhana did not even hear. Arjuna heard and transformed. So light is shining all the time. There is no special effort to be made. It is simply the realization. When you are, let's say you are on the phone and you're talking to your friend, it is not that you've forgotten that you are Saravanan, or you have not forgotten that you are a male. But when you're talking, you don't have to keep on remembering. I'm Saravanan, I'm male, I'm Saravanan, I'm male, I'm Saravanan, I'm male. You don't have to keep on remembering. You know. When that question comes, you can answer. Otherwise, you just simply know. So therefore, there is no if condition when I'm acting in the world.
Yeah.
Does that bring the clarity, Saravanan?
Yeah. So to basically see at it as it is by being a witness, and yeah, it will go through. Every scene is going to be a mystery, and yeah, by building expectation, it's going to disappoint one way or the other. Yeah.
Act with the best possible knowledge in any given moment. That's all one can do. There will not be one day in the future when you will have 100% jnana to act. Because the nature of jnana is itself, it can continue to deepen because it is in the realm of the mind.
Yeah.
Whatever is in the realm of the mind can continue to evolve.
Yeah.
So therefore, as much as necessary for the practical purposes, whatever jnana that is important, use it. And it's like a tool. You know how to use a tool. You know how to use the knife, the spoon, the the table, whatever tools. Everything is a tool. Use for the best purpose. And at that moment, you only knew that much. That's all you can do. In that given moment, in that mind, only that much occurred. That's all. What more can be done? So Angulimala became Angulimala. The background story is that apparently his guru in the Gurukula, he was one of the bright students, and other fellow students were very jealous of him. And apparently they went and told this guru that he is spreading all wrong words about you, and he's claiming he already is very knowledgeable and all that. So the day came when Guru Dakshina had to be given. And the guru, apparently out of that misinformed way of thinking, he asked him, I want this 100 thumbs as the Guru Dakshina. And that's the background story given to how he became Angulimala. So the world started seeing him as a thief and a butcher and a killer and a murderer and a very abusive person. That is noticing the outside, noticing the body and saying it's a black body, white body, red body, yellow body, Indian body, American body, Chinese body. Are looking at the behavior and saying that very nice behavior, oh, such a rude behavior, mental patterns, oh, very greedy person, oh, very knowledgeable person, mental patterns, noticing the mental patterns. That is how the world was with Angulimala. And that world told Buddha, don't go, he's a murderer. But Buddha had realized better. Even in the Angulimala, there is a nice and innocent, wonderful, kind child. And he did not have the intention, okay, I will transform him. Because for him, there is no other murderer or killer or butcher. In the transaction plane, there is, but there is no other. Who I should be afraid of? What can Angulimala kill? This body. This anyway is going to be killed. It's constantly getting killed. If you see in that sense, it is constantly taking birth. If you see that sense, so what is getting killed and what is not getting killed at any given moment? Every moment is death and life are coexisting. Where, what is that thing called as a death one day? So he walks free of all anxieties, of all worries, of all fears. So that fearlessness, that deep sense of calmness is what helped Angulimala to see that there is something more to life than what he had been living. Because what you do comes back to you. He has been butchering, he's been killing, so he's always afraid. Here is somebody who cannot sleep without the knife. Why? Because he has only known how to protect himself with a knife. There is a wonderful story about this Codes factory, you all know, Konankonte, huge liquor baron, okay? So Guruji tells a story. One day he wanted to do a class in some village and somebody told that there is this place and if you go and request Codes, they may give this place for class for free. So he went to see Codes and somebody told him to go into a room. He went into a room expecting somebody sitting there and everything. But he looks around, a tall room, like and there was one chair in the center of the room and he was wondering, where am I? And suddenly there was a voice, please sit down. He sat and he was looking everywhere. I can see you, don't worry. So then he realized he's somewhere else, talking through some phone. So here is a liquor baron who has crores and crores of rupees, who simply to meet someone and to greet someone, he cannot even physically be there. So you see what mind can do to you. So Buddha was free from that. So he simply walked. And that simply walking transformed Angulimala. Because for the first time he was seeing somebody who was not feeling afraid, who was not feeling anxious. Even when somebody was threatening to kill him, completely was at ease. The ease on the face of Buddha did not change. So there is a Buddha in every Angulimala. Therefore, Buddha says, the whole world is full of Buddhas for me. Just that some have awakened and some are sleeping. But everyone awakens. Because that is the nature of nature. Sound cannot always be there. Sound has to merge into silence. That is how it is. Not because I'm saying it. That is how it is. So Vedanta therefore says how it is. I accepting or not accepting is my problem. You are on mute, Saravananji.
Yeah, said repeated manana nididhyasana is what will instill and like
Yeah.
be in that state
Yeah.
at any time.
And seva. So see, seva, because we are constantly in the middle of action, and action naturally done with the for me attitude binds.
Yeah.
So seva is very, very important. Seva
Mm.
is important. Shravana Manana Nidhyasa is important. Sadguru is important. Satsanga is important. So Sadguru Seva, Satsanga, Shravana Manana Nidhyasa go hand in hand. Because Shravana, Sadguru says, during Shravana, Sadguru says, Seva is more important. So in one sense, yeah, Shravana Manana Nidhyasa, but what is the Guru prompting us? What is the Guru showing us the path? Seva. All right. Looks like we can conclude today's session.
Yeah. Yeah, kind of, yeah, 72. Yeah, maybe in the next session can spend briefly 5 minutes, maybe in 72, 73, and yeah.
We are not in a hurry. We can go back and bring as many. Padmaji, you also said you were going through it and you had some either questions or pointers to discuss.
No, sir, I'll bring it up next week.
Okay.
I still have to go from 70 onwards. I'm still looking. I'm not done yet.
Sure.
Yeah, I felt like it had some very good concepts, which like how can I say I know? To say that I know something, I can only say if that something is fixed. If that something is changing constantly, then you cannot even use that phrase "I know." So those are like big eye openers.
Yeah.
For me, as I'm going through again and again, it is like, what is the point of all this questioning where I'm coming to?
No, it is important. It is important to clarify. It is like this, Padmaji. When the window is full of dust, we cannot even see existence of sun. The room may appear very dark. So some amount of cleaning is important. But
no, that I understand. I mean,
Yeah.
without questioning, maybe we wouldn't have even come here.
Yeah.
But now that many questions are getting answered, I feel like, is there even a need? Or even if the questions are answered, there are still questions keeping on coming. So the day the questions will disappear is when there is more clarity.
I'm seeing it as this way. Can you provide that clarity to someone else when the question is asked to you? At least
No,
that's
but
how
why
I.
do you need to do that? Why do you need to do that?
If I may, Padmaji and Saravananji, it is not about providing an answer to someone else. At the end of the day, please look at it. Who is angry with life? Who is sad with life? Who is upset with life? Who is happy with life? Who is joyful in life? Who is peaceful in life? Only you.
Yeah.
No one else.
Yeah, I think in a day 4 talk, Guruji addresses something similar, where one person from the audience has asked Guruji about consciousness in a person with coma. So that is what I mean. Guruji's answer was similar. Like, why are you worrying about the Atmanyana or consciousness part for the coma person? Who needs Atmanyana? It is you. So it's for you that all this is needed. Why you are worried about somebody else? So that is when I started thinking, like, all this is only for ourselves. We don't need to answer anybody, or we don't even know when we answer, is the other person even able to comprehend what we are trying to say.
Yeah, but I just put it in a way that, like, how do you know that you know? That
You
is
know
like,
that you
I
know.
think
How,
you
how
just
do you know
know.
that? How do you know that you are Saravanan? How do you know that you are a man? You know.
I
How,
think
how
the
does
questioning will also stop, no, sir. Like, questioning will stop.
how does the flower know it's a flower? It knows. How does the cuckoo bird know it's a cuckoo bird? It knows. How do you know your own existence? You know.
Yeah.
I'm sure, like,
That is the
cuckoo bird doesn't
mystery.
know it's cuckoo bird.
That is the mystery.
We gave it the name and form.
I don't know. I don't know. All I know is, all I know
Yeah.
is I exist. All I know is my nature is peace. All I know is I don't need anything. Now, is that the end of the journey? I don't know. Is it the beginning of the journey? I don't know. Has this, whatever the answer that has been found, has it brought clarity and peace in your life? It's up to you to judge. So you will never be able to answer. For every Krishna's, whatever the utterings, there was one Arjuna and 100 Duryodanas. And Duryodhana could not accept even one statement from Arjuna, Krishna. So therefore, never I will be able to answer the question from anybody. There's always one another trick question that I don't know the answer for. So what do I then do? So therefore, the only yardstick is, has it brought peace within you? Has it brought freedom within you? Has it brought sense of ease and relaxation within you? Because there is no way for you to know when somebody else acknowledges your answer.
Yeah,
Somebody asks a question, somebody acknowledges and says, "Oh, what a wonderful answer."
it is from self point of view. Yeah.
I don't know whether they were just clapping because they thought in their mind, there may be what a stupid answer. But if I say stupid on his face, I will feel bad. Or let me clap. It's like we say, no, encourage children, encourage children. It doesn't matter, encourage children. So therefore, I will never know.
Yeah.
There is no way for me to know.
Yeah. It's just that due to the conditioning, got used to seeing the reflection from the society.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for that matter, nobody may come and ask you question also. Nobody may come and question. So, for example, Prabhuji we know, Prabhuji we go and ask, because of whatever the reason, he started teaching. Right amongst us, right in your office, right in your home, right in your surroundings, there may be a realized being
Agree.
who is just going on about their life.
Yeah. We don't know. Yeah.
Have you found the freedom? That's the only question. And nobody can answer. Not even your guru can answer that for you. Only you know.
Yeah, it's very, very different. Yeah. Because we got used to writing exam where the other person puts mark and like we come to know, oh, looks like I know that. Here it is like it's all you, everything is you.
Shall we conclude?
Yeah.